Episode 29 of a great series that teaches us marketing communication lessons, but through stories. Sachin Bhandary from the Story Core returns. How are you, my friend?
Very good, Rishi. Very good. Looking forward to this conversation.
This story is extremely personal because my friend Sachin, in a previous life, used to be known as eccentric Sachin or the odd traveler Sachin,
So,
simply because he would do the oddest of things in the farthest reaches of this planet. And he had lots of fun, and now he's settled down in Mysore and he's helping companies grow. But those were the days, eh, my friend?
yeah,
That's why
yeah.
the story is titled, Sir, You Cannot Board This
The
Flight.
flight. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, tell all.
Yes, it's good. I'm really looking forward to this because our partnership, Rishi, in a way, started with travel. So it's good back to go back to our roots as well and talk travel. So this happened when I was 26 years old, which is about a decade and a half ago, Rishi. So it was my first international flight that I was supposed to take. It was from Bombay to Paris and Paris to Rio in Brazil. And a dear friend was waiting for me there. We were supposed to take a 45-day backpacking trip through South America. I'm at the counter, and the agent who's going to help me check in looks at my passport pages over and over again and then calls the senior. And I'm like, is there a problem? And the senior tells me, sir, you cannot board this flight. And I'm like, why? And he told me that, sir, your passport does not have a visa to a transit visa for Paris for France. And I said, but I didn't know about that because I checked with the travel agent and they told me it's not required. He said, sir, that does not matter. You don't have a UK visa, Schengen visa, so you cannot board this flight because if we let you board, then we'll have to pay a huge fee and then bring you back to India. And, in the manner of speaking, I just said, okay, that's fine. I will get the French visa and come back to the airport tomorrow to board tomorrow night's flight. And he looked at me in a bit of a mocking way and told me, sir, I've been doing this for about 20 years now, and I've never seen anyone come back in 24 hours with a Schengen visa. Give yourself a couple of weeks. And in that moment, when I think about it now, I actually had a tear in my eye as I was walking out of the airport because I had really planned for this trip. You're 26, imagine that, right? 26, first international trip, your friend is waiting for you. Went back home and I started thinking, how the hell do I make it happen? How do I get a French visa in a day? And that's when, I realized the power of focus. I then remembered that because I used to be a PR guy, which you know that I used to be in public relations. So I used to handle communications for the Godrej group. And Mr. Nadir Godrej, Adi Godrej's young brother, was awarded with the honorary citizenship of France that particular year. And in that association, they had also sponsored some really good French movies to be played at PVR in Lower Parel. And so I knew that in that context, the corporate communications people were always in touch with the French consulate. So then I was like, yes, I have to get in touch with my client. So I got in touch with my client. I told them that, listen, I need to get on this flight. So do whatever it takes, but please get me this French visa. So my client, whose name is Usha Iyer, she used to work with the corporate communications department, diligently told me that you have to go and station yourself outside the French consulate the next day, which I did. And then at 4 p.m., I got a call from the consulate, a lady named Kainaz, who was very sweet. She asked me to get inside and stand in the queue, and voila, I had a 90-day Schengen visa on my passport. And the gentleman there was telling me all the places I could explore in France. Little did he know that I just needed the visa to walk from one aircraft to another at the Paris airport. So, yeah, I went back to the airport, Rishi, and this time the airline rep, it was his jaw that dropped, who looked at me and he's like, how the
Same
hell is it?
guy.
The same guy, yeah, I bumped into him while I was trying to board the flight after the check-in and everything else. Like, how the hell did this happen? Are you a minister's son or something? And now I could show some swag, and I told him, desire eats destiny for breakfast. And then I went and boarded the flight, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Desire eats destiny for breakfast. Wonderful. I have to say, small world. Mr. Nadir Godrej is a dear friend. He is today CEO and MD at Godrej Industries, because
That's right.
the great Mr. Adi Godrej has moved on to be chairman.
That is right.
Usha Iyer is still at the Godrej Group Corporate Communications.
That is right too.
And I still interact with her. Wonderful lady. So it's nice to see 3 degrees of separation. What indeed is the marketing and communication tip from that incident in your life?
Rishi, one thing that I've realized over the years is that a lot of what people do for us, whether it's customers who buy from us, especially in the B2B space, when you are working with clients directly and nobody's just buying a nameless, faceless product, or whether it is teams who want to work with you, or it is peers who want to support you through your journey, a lot of it happens because of who you are and what you stand for. And in many cases at work, actions is not something that you may have time for, right? You cannot build a reputation and wait for 10 years for it to get built. The reputation can be built through stories that you narrate from your past life and things that you've done, and that's why personal stories are very important. Of course, there are a few caveats. You have to narrate a relevant personal story at work. It needs to deliver a message about you, and it needs to be not so much about yourself, but about some insight that people can get from that particular story. But personal stories are really powerful, and if you are able to use them wisely, of course, with help from coaches like Sachin Bhandary, then you can actually supercharge your career and business.
Win with Stories is a newsletter that Sachin regularly writes. I highly advocate you go check it out. And please hire him and the Story Core to at least come and do a workshop at your office or your group. They will really transform the way you market and communicate. Buddy, how can one reach you?
It's pretty simple, Rishi. Go to LinkedIn, look for Sachin Bhandary. Sachin is easy. Bhandary is Bhandary. And on my profile there's a link which says get in touch or stay in touch. People can either just click the link and subscribe to my newsletter, or book a Zoom call with me or my team to discuss how we can help your organization win with stories.
Super stuff. And I look forward to catching up with you next week. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, Rishi. Look forward.
94.3 Radio 1.